animals mated in the wild and crossbred naturally, but others are purely man-made. And it doesn't matter whether they were accidentally made or intentionally created, because what you're going to see here is the stuff of horrors. So brace yourself as we take you through some of the scariest hybrid animals in the world. Number 10. Savannah cats. Would you pet the offspring of a domestic cat and an African wildcat? Turns out that pet lovers actually adore these half-domestic, half-wild fur babies. They are hybrid cats resulting from the crossbreeding between a domestic cat and a servals are beautiful, medium-sized, large-eared wild African cats who mainly lived in the wild. When crossbred with a domestic cat, they beget the Savannah cat, which looks wilder and scary, large. But it shares the same chill temperature as the average house cat. Still, they do have a bit of the wildcat's DNA in them, so expect their temperament to be far less predictable than that of a domestic cat's. Some states allow petting of the Savannah cat because they can be trained as well as dogs. In fact, Savannah cats have been described as more dog-like, but they are felines. They are loyal and intelligent, and they have no fear of water. They wag their tails when excited, and they enjoy games of fetch as well. Savannah cats may not look scary, but if you're thinking of getting one for a pet, their price tag will certainly freak you out. Number 9. Dog-human trans species? Now this creature is downright bizarre. It's part dog, part human, rumored to be the offspring of a dog and a human. That's according to the news that circulated around 2009. Apparently, someone was determined to convince the world that this outlandish creature really did exist. The people behind the story revealed that the dog-human creature was a cross between a Labrador Retriever and a human. Along with a lengthy description and history of the bizarre creature were some photorealistic images of a litter of the unusual pups suckling on a part dog, part woman creature. But the most fascinating thing about all of this is that the dog-human photo wasn't at all photoshopped. The trans-species creature depicted in the photo, however, was just an imagination, a work of art, sculpted by artist Patricia Cassini for her 2003 art exhibition dubbed We Are Family. Now I get that canines are family, but don't you think she took the idea a little too far? Number 8. Hybrid sharks. No, our hybrid sharks are not internet-famous shark-horse hybrids that are called shores. Thank heavens it's merely a product of Photoshop because it honestly looks absolutely hideous. We meant to talk about the hybrid black-tip shark. It's actually the first ever hybrid shark to be discovered, and it's scary crazy that this alpha predator can now crossbreed and become even better adapted to its aquatic environment, aka the oceans and seas, where we love to go swimming. This hybrid shark was discovered in Australia entirely by chance. An analysis of the hybrid revealed a mix of traits from the common black-tip shark species and the Australian black-tip shark species. Because of the mix of physical and biological traits, hybrid black-tip sharks are now able to venture further into the cooler ocean than their Australian variety parents would prefer. This means that they have a much larger territory to hunt, and quite possibly, they'll add a few more prey to their menu. We just hope that there won't be more attacks on humans, as the hybrid sharks try to figure out whether our flesh is a treat they should be adding to their menu. Number 7. Brawler and Pizzly bears. Few animals are more frightening than a huge bear. So when a grizzly bear and a polar bear decide to have a baby together, we expect the cub to be all the more terrifying. The cub will obviously be a hybrid offspring, and we call it a growler bear. When a male grizzly bear and a female polar bear mate, or a Pizzly bear cub when a male polar bear and a female grizzly mate. These hybrid offspring sport a mix of features from both bears, including their physical and behavioral characteristics, as well as their ferocity. I mean, it's only natural that the babies of these large, feared predators will resemble their large, fluffy, but terrifying parents. These hybrids occur naturally, and more polar bear and grizzly bear crossbreeds are being sighted in Alaska and the Canadian Arctic. Scientists point out that warming up of the Arctic environment is responsible for the increasing interaction between the two bear species, which otherwise inhabited distant zones of the Arctic. As grizzly bears venture into the warmed-up Arctic North, they cross paths a lot with polar bears, and their interactions, mating to be more precise, results in more bear hybrids. Number 6. Coy wolves. There's a new top predator lurking in the woods of eastern North America and Canada. It's an unusually large coyote, but it also looks like a small wolf. Uh-oh, it's actually a coyote and wolf hybrid, and its confusion of intimidating coyote yips and bone-chilling wolf howls are freaking out residents of Florida all the way to Maine. These hybrids exist naturally in the wild, and unlike other half-breeds, coy wolves are feral and able to reproduce, hence their large numbers. People have for a long time mistaken coy wolves for eastern coyotes, and most coy wolves' attacks on humans have been wrongfully registered as a coyote attack, mostly because to the untrained eye, these hybrids really look more coyote than wolf. Majorly because they are far smaller than you'd expect a wolf to be. While we know that coyotes have always been wary of humans, when the wolf DNA in coy wolves kicks in, then you have a terrifying predator nobody should mess with. Number 5. Leopards and Leopards. These are the first Panthera hybrids to make our list. Spoiler alert, more scarier lion hybrids are coming up later. Circling back, leopards are a very rare crossbreed between a male leopard and a lioness, while leopards are an even rarer hybrid offspring of a lion and a leopardess. In terms of size and appearance, these hybrids have a head that primarily resembles the lion's, but a body that's almost identical to the leopard. They are larger and stronger than the leopard, and mature males even have sparse mane and tufted tails, like a lion parent. From their leopard parents, these hybrids draw their leopard-like spots, shorter legs, and a water-loving and tree-climbing lifestyle. Now, that's a scary mix of characteristics and behaviors right there. And to add to the confusion, female leopards and leopards are often torn between the solitary life of their leopard parents and the social nature of their lion parents. If there's one thing we know, an unstable wild cat is not to be trusted. Number 4. Jag lions. Here's another scary combination that involves the mighty lion. This time, it's a rare offspring between a male jaguar and a female lion. In the wild, the lion and jaguar would not coexist. Well, they could not. Well, they're not mortal enemies, but it just doesn't happen. But in captivity, a male jaguar and lioness were raised together in the same zoo and they became inseparable. The two big cats did the deed, and on April 9, 2006, the lioness had 2 cubs. The naturally born love cubs were jag lions named Jazara, the female, and Tsunami, the male. They lived with their different breed parents at the Bear Creek Wildlife Sanctuary in Ontario, Canada. These are the only jag lions in the world, since no one has ever thought or intended to cross a jaguar with a lioness. Number 3. Ligers and Tigons. Yet another hybrid that involves the lion. The liger is a cross between a male lion and a tigress, whereas the tigon is a cross between a male tiger and a lioness. Both these hybrids are quite similar, and perhaps the only thing that distinguishes them from one another is the order of gender of the parents. Lion-tiger hybrids only exist in captivity because the parental species inhabit different regions in their natural setting. As such, their paths don't cross in the wild. We have a picture sent to us by a subscriber, just like you. It shows a scary creature that looks like a wolf mixed with a rough hyena. But after some deep digging, here at 100M, we found out what it is. Number 2. Wolf dog. What happens when you cross a wolf and a dog? Turns out, the pups sport a mix of features that is neither distinctly canine nor distinctly lupine. But don't be tempted to think that wolf-dog hybrids are a little less harmless because they're part domestic dog. You might never trust their wild and unpredictable wolf DNA not to be ill-fated. Wolf-dog hybrids aren't a rare sight in the US, and some established dog breeds like the Czechoslovakian and the Sarloose are in fact wolf dogs. Wolf and domestic dog hybrids are usually only found in captivity. That's because, in the wild, the mating cycles of dogs and the mating cycles of wolves are in opposition of each other. However, some dogs that are closely related to wolves, the Alaskan Malamute for instance, may mingle freely and mate with wolves in the wild. There's a good reason why wolf-dog hybrids are essentially banned in some states. They'll start out as adorable and loyal pups, but once they hit sexual maturity, their wolf side kicks in, resulting in their unpredictable humanese. Exactly 100 years ago, scientists were determined to crossbreed a human with a chimpanzee. And just recently, evolutionary psychologist Gordon Gallup coined the term humans as the best name for whatever such controversial lab experiments could or might have hatched. Such a controversial but unsuccessful attempt to create a human-chimp hybrid was made in 1920 by Soviet scientist Ilya Ivanov. Chinese scientists also tried but terminated their experiments before any significant progress was made. However, we learned from The Sun, a UK news company, that Dr. Gordon Gallup had knowledge of a secret primate research center within the U.S. where a human-chimp hybrid was successfully developed 100 years ago. In his exclusive interview to The Sun, Dr. Gallup claimed that his former university professor worked at the aforementioned secret research facility based in Florida, and that researchers successfully inseminated a female chimpanzee with an anonymous human donor. Dr. Gallup further claimed that the chimp got pregnant and gave birth to the first ever human chimp baby. Or as he so aptly put it, it was the first ever human Z. The scientists freaked out and euthanized the human Z in its infancy to avoid more severe ethical concerns. Hey!